What is up, everyone? Guys, listen up. In this video, I want to talk about the changes they have made to the Flamethrower and the Incendiary shotgun. I want to discuss it with you guys, and I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you agree, if you disagree, let's just have a conversation, and that's literally what this video is going to be about. So let's start with the Flamethrower. We all know that the change made to it is that you can't kill chargers from the front. Now, I know that there are some ways where you can hit the joint and so on. And for me personally, the problem is not that it doesn't kill chargers exactly the same way. It's just the philosophy moving forward. I am going to be uploading a Flamethrower build, by the way, very, very soon. And I still think that the Flamethrower, even on the new difficulty, is extremely good when it comes to ad clear. And you can get around the change that we have currently in the game by stunning the charger and taking out their tail. Just rotate behind him. All of that will be showcased in that video. So I don't think it's useless. And to say that, you know, the Flamethrower is garbage now or whatever, that is not my opinion. I don't think that is completely useless. And there's a few reasons why I didn't expect this. So that's literally what I want to go over here. Now, the first one is with the latest changes, and I'm not even talking about this change that happened today, which is the new difficulty that has been added. I'm talking about, you know, how they increased the amount of chargers in general. I felt like the Flamethrower was in that spot where it gave us the ability to take out these chargers and battle this situation in a way that we both had fun. It was effective, but yet it was still balanced. And when I say balanced, it's because there's a lot of things that the Flamethrower really didn't do well. For example, it's not great against Bile Titans. It does nothing pretty much against Shriekers. I mean, you can take them out, but it's really not easy. You'd rather use a primary. Oh, by the way, the Incendiary shotgun was amazing for that. Still is in terms of damage, but the ammo economy on it is absolutely terrible. On top of that, the Flamethrower didn't really do a great job with the spewers. Once again, you can kill them, but it's not as effective. It didn't have the stagger, so they would still hit you if you didn't take them out really, really fast. So it's not like the Flamethrower was this, oh, I'm gonna pick this up, I'm gonna go into Helldive difficulty and absolutely annihilate everything. That was really, really not the case. Once again, the reason I was really sad about this change isn't because, oh, you know what, I can't kill these chargers so fast now. As I said, there's ways to get around it. You can hit the joint, whatever. That is very inconsistent, by the way. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. I'm thinking that it is probably a bug, and that they will probably adjust that also. But if not, even then, it's very, very inconsistent. So for me personally, the best way is to get around the charger and take them out by destroying their tail. But for me, the biggest problem is that they thought that that was such a big problem while they're adding a new difficulty on top of that. Because they were saying that this difficulty is supposed to be like super, super hard and everything like that. And it is harder than Helldive difficulty, but honestly, it's not like crazy amounts of harder. However, that's what they thought when they were implementing it into the game. So it's very logical to think that if we are getting a higher difficulty that is added to the game, our tools at least should stay the same and not get nerfed. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, by the way, right? I think that's very, very logical. On top of that, the one weapon that got nerfed, the Incendiary shotgun. Let's talk about this one as well. Guys, it was not overpowered. I know that a lot of people think that it was one of the most broken weapons ever, but it wasn't. It also has its flaws. For example, it didn't deal with biles and spewers and chargers, which, by the way, all three of these are very, very important enemy types. It's not like it was a primary weapon that closed down the bug holes. It literally killed the little lads very efficiently, and the Shriekers very efficiently. That's what it was good at. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm gonna pick up this Incendiary shotgun and that's it, the game's done, you know, I'm just gonna have the easiest run of my life. For me personally, for all the people that have been watching me, and by the way, I stream both on YouTube and on Twitch, so make sure to hop in. We always have a super fun time on stream. But you guys know, I like the plasma shotgun more. That's what I used. That's how I did my solo Helldive runs. I destroyed Bile Titans with that thing. So with that logic, a plasma shotgun that is also very good at ad clear if you know what you're doing, is very good against chargers, and can kill Bile Titans, then that will be nerfed as well. The only reason probably it's not getting nerfed is the usage rate. Currently, not many people are using it. But little by little, if we just follow the usage rate, what happens, guys, is that now the people that were enjoying the Incendiary shotgun, they're going to move on to something else, because the ammo economy now with 4 mags is really not good. It's just not good, and that was such an unnecessary nerf. But let's say they move on to the next weapon. What happens then? Then the usage rate of that weapon goes up, and now are we going to nerf that one? And are we going to keep moving in this direction of nerfing every single tool while adding new difficulties to the game? You see my point? Like, if there was no new difficulty, even then I'd be like, oh God, why? I'd be like, why? Like, why are we doing this? But now that there is a new difficulty, it's even more confusing for me personally. Once again, I don't think this is a problem to the point that it's unplayable, but it just shows you the direction that they're taking, no matter how we look at it. And at this point, you guys know, me and Thick Filet have a podcast. He started this podcast, was his idea. He's the organizer. I'm a co-host. I would love to sit down with the devs just to pick their brain, like, what is happening? Like, maybe there's some kind of disconnect here between the community and the devs, and maybe we can figure it out. Maybe they tell us something where we'll go, oh, okay, it all makes sense. So share this video. Let's have this discussion. Maybe they somehow see this video, and maybe we get to sit down and talk. And another thing that I want to go over is, even in terms of like marketing wise, it doesn't make sense to me, because previously we had updates where people were not that happy, right? Let's be honest. They were not happy with the changes, because once again, we had a lot of nerfs, and then we had a pretty good patch that buffed up the stratagems and orbitals, which was really, really cool. But most of it, when it comes to weapons, it was always received not that well by the community, and rightfully so, because it was mostly nerfs. And the balancing seems to be very extra careful not to add like 1 or 2 magazine more, and make sure to always drop the magazine when needed. It doesn't make sense to me, because you have this amazing opportunity to push this update. Everybody's kind of hyped for it, right? Everybody's waiting for this, and you know everybody's waiting for this. Now, let's take a look here. I actually have the Steam charts. This is usually peak time for the game. This is where it goes up. Currently, it's at 55,000 players, okay? It should be higher. You know why it's not higher? Because as soon as this update got pushed and people saw the patch notes, word spreads like fire. So now everybody reads, nerf to this weapon, nerf to that one. And people are like, okay, so we're doing the same thing. You know what? I'm not interested right now. I'm going to play the first Descendant. And the way the devs approach all of these changes in that game is completely different. I'll give you an example. There was this one weapon that was working as it shouldn't have. So they nerfed it in a way, but buffed it in a better way. And then they had this amazing thing in their blog post where they go, never worry about a nerf, because if we're making some kind of nerf, we are gonna make sure to buff it in another way so the weapon actually feels better in other ways. And the reasoning behind that statement was, we value your time invested, so never worry about these things. We'll make sure that the weapon feels really strong. And that's great, because you don't feel like you're just playing, and your favorite tool will get nerfed. What I think they should have done was pushed out this update, and in the patch notes, we should have seen some huge changes in terms of positive changes. For example, the railgun. For example, some AR buffs, some ammo economy buffs, changing the way the ragdolling mechanic works, giving us the ability to counter said mechanic, and so on. Instead of that, the first thing we read in the balancing is nerfs. Obviously, the interest is going to be low. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's their game. And if they think that this is how people should be playing their game, I think that the people will decide on their own as well. And going back to the Flamethrower and the Incendiary shotgun, there's literally one question. Why? Was it really necessary to do this? Because once again, the momentum was perfect, man. You had the community on your side. Like the update was awaited. Like everybody was waiting for this update, right? You had the momentum. So why not push the momentum all the way up instead of like kind of blocking it halfway? You know what I mean? And you got to keep in mind, they set all of this up to, right? This crazy difficulty, that this is happening and everybody's going, oh my God, crazy difficulty. We are hopefully going to get good tools. So in your mind, you're like, we're going to have a new stratagem, new probably weapon. The war bond is coming. Oh, and by the way, the war bond, in reality, the nerf to the flamethrower is because of the war bond. Let's just be honest, because they're putting in primary weapons that have fire damage, and they probably didn't want them to do the same kind of damage to the chargers as the flamethrower did. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. That's okay. I'm not against that, but you should have done it differently. You should have left the flamethrower, or at least given it very high penetration to heavy armor. That's what should have happened. But this was unnecessary, in my opinion. It really was. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Once again, we don't have to agree on everything. We can disagree on a lot of stuff. Now, as I said at the beginning, I don't think this is the end. I don't think that the flamethrower is now garbage. I personally am still going to be using it. It's still going to be my favorite support weapon. But yeah, I felt like the changes that they made were pretty unnecessary. And it also makes me think that the war bond weapons aren't going to be the greatest. I hope I'm wrong. It's only 2 days away. I'm going to be streaming it. I'm going to be testing all of those weapons live. Make sure to be there so we can check it out together. Okay, I'm out of here. Make sure to let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. As always, stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I mean, we literally have the best community of all time.
Oh! Oh, he got no scoped!